Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Welcome to another meal prep video. In this week's video, it's fall and it's also October. That means pumpkin and soups. So for breakfast prep this week, I'm gonna be doing pumpkin French toast. This recipe is so good. And then for lunch is a new one to me. This is sausage and vegetable soup. So really excited to try that one. So if you wanna see how I meal prep breakfast and lunch for my husband and I, then stay with me. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Kristi and I'm planning us healthy. If you're new here, welcome. Like I said, my name is Kristi. I'm currently following the WW Blue program, but I do provide points for all three programs, and I also share calories as well. However, with that being said, you don't need to be on any type of weight loss program to get tips and ideas from my channel. I do mostly meal prep and cooking videos, so I'd love to have you as part of the family by clicking the subscribe button, and also make sure to click the notification bell. That way you're notified anytime I upload new content. So if you heard in that beginning, this week I'm only doing breakfast and lunch. Normally I do DIY dinner kits and snacks, but I'm not going to be doing that this week. We had a busy weekend. My daughter was here. We were celebrating her birthday a week early. Many of you responded to the picture we posted on Instagram and Facebook, and she wanted to say thank you very much for all the birthday wishes. She really appreciates it. So I just didn't have much time, so I'm just going to be doing breakfast, and then the lunch, the soup, is actually a slow cooker recipe. So that's going to be very quick. No DIY dinner kits this week. Honestly, I didn't have a lot of time, and I knew that I wasn't going to have a lot of time. So I actually ordered a few Home Chef meals. I've been talking about those recently. I used to do Home Chef, used to order from Home Chef a couple years ago, and I really enjoyed their recipes. I really enjoyed the simple ingredients that were in their dinner kits. So I went on and ordered 3 dinner kits that I'm going to have delivered. So that's what we're doing this week. And then for snacks this week, I'm not going to be prepping anything today for this video. So for this week, it's just going to be a breakfast and also a slow cooker lunch. The soup is made in the slow cooker. As always, I'll be listing the recipes down in the description box below, and I'll also be linking you to any of the items that I use, like my meal prep containers, anything like that. I try to give direct links to Amazon as well. Finally, make sure to give this video a thumbs up if you like meal prep videos. It really does help my channel. So with all that out of the way, let's get started with meal prep. So I'm going to start with lunch this week because this is actually a slow cooker recipe. And honestly, completely forgot. I really should have probably done this overnight. That way it was ready this morning, and then all I would have had to do was my breakfast. But I had a lot going on this weekend. So for this recipe, this is sausage and vegetable soup, perfect for the fall weather. This is what it looks like. And this is a recipe I got from this Dump Soups cookbook that I have. So I don't even know like who it just says brand name recipes, but it doesn't say like whose recipe it is. So that is what I'm going to be making. For the way that I'm going to be making it, it's going to come out to 6 servings, and it's going to be 8 points on green, 5 points on purple, and 6 points on blue, the way that I figured it. And if you're counting calories, apparently I didn't figure the calories yet, so I'll pop that up on the screen. So for this recipe, the only thing I'm doing different is instead of 8 ounces of turkey sausage, I'm going to be using 13 ounces, just because that is how much comes in this package. So I just put it in the tracker to adjust for any difference in points. So the other things we need for this is 2 cups of diced potatoes. I have some red potatoes here left that I need to get used up. So I'm going to peel mine, but if you don't want to peel them, you can just wash them real well. And then those are going to get diced up, and then we just need enough for 2 cups. We also need 1 can of black beans that we are going to drain and rinse. 1 can of petite diced tomatoes, which you don't have to use the petite diced. Any diced tomatoes will work. 1 can of cream of mushroom soup, 1 cup of chopped onion, 1 cup of chopped red bell pepper. I did not have any red bell peppers. I had one for this recipe and ended up using it for something else, completely forgetting that I needed it for this. So I do have these roasted red bell peppers in my fridge, so I'm going to use about half of this jar Hopefully it will come out okay. I don't see why it wouldn't. We'll see. But if you have a fresh red pepper, I would suggest use that. Also, like I said, I'm using 13 ounces of turkey kielbasa. I'm also going to use 2 teaspoons of horseradish. Make sure you use actual horseradish and not horseradish sauce. I need 2 teaspoons of honey, 1 teaspoon of dried basil, and also a half a cup of water. So all we're gonna do is take all those ingredients and put them in the slow cooker and slow cook them for about 7 to 8 hours. So what I'm gonna do now is peel and dice up my potatoes. I'm gonna dice up my onion. I'm gonna cut the turkey kielbasa into about 1/2 inch slices, and I'm also gonna just chop up some red pepper. So now that that is all chopped up, now I'm going to take my slow cooker pot, which is actually my Instant Pot insert. My Instant Pot has a slow cook function on it. And I'm just going to dump all this right in there. And the 2 cups of potatoes. Now I'm just going to rinse and drain my black beans. And then those are going in there. Then my diced tomatoes are going in there. The cream of mushroom soup. The 1 teaspoon of dried basil. And then the 2 teaspoons of horseradish. The 2 teaspoons of honey. And a half a cup of water. Then give that a good mix. So that's what it looks like. It smells really good. So now just put your lid on your slow cooker. So you can just use a regular, any old regular slow cooker. So this is going to slow cook for 7 to 8 hours. I'm going to do mine at 7 hours. I think that's going to be plenty of time. It's not like there's really raw meat in there that has to take time to cook. So I'm going to do slow cook on low for 7 hours. So I'll come back when it's done and get it portioned out. All right, so I think for my lunches, for the soup, I'm gonna use these 2-cup Pyrex glass containers. I think that should be, these should definitely be big enough. So I'm gonna get these ready, and in the meantime, I'm gonna check on the soup. It's only been about 6 hours and 20 minutes, but I really feel like that's gonna be done. All right, so I still have 41 minutes left on the 7 hours, but I am going to check on this now because the potatoes, yeah, that's definitely done. I don't want to cook it anymore. I don't want the potatoes to be mush. And with how small I cut those, so I don't know if you can see that. The lighting right here is kind of bad. So let me let that cool down a little bit, and I'll bring you over in the better light and show you what this looks like. All right, I'm trying to hurry here because we're losing daylight. So you should be able to see that a little bit better. It's just really hot right now. But I'm telling you, this looks and smells delicious. I absolutely cannot wait. And you know what? I'm going to try this right now. Oh, okay. I just tried the soup. It is absolutely delicious. I think I burnt my mouth trying it, but this is what it looks like. It's really hot right now. I know you can't really tell by the look, but it is so good. So now I'm just going to go through and put it into these bowls. Like I said, I think these are going to be big enough. All right, so that worked out perfectly. Those fit perfect. So these are 2-cup portions, and there's a lot of stuff in here that's really gonna fill us. So we've got the beans in there, and then like I said, I did extra of the turkey sausage, so 13 ounces split up amongst the 6. So I think this is gonna be pretty filling, especially with the potatoes, the tomatoes, everything in there. So super excited to have those this week. Okay, moving on to breakfast. For breakfast this week, I'm going to be doing pumpkin French toast. These are 3 points on blue and purple, 4 points on green, and 151 calories. I was looking back on my channel to make sure that I hadn't done these recently. I have not made these in 2 years. It's been 2019 was when I did a video on these, so definitely time to make these. I'm going to be using my big camping griddle to make these. It's just easier to make more at a time, but you certainly can do these just on a pan on your stove if you prefer. So let me show you how easy these are to put together. So what I have here is just a glass dish, a square glass dish. I'm just going to be mixing the ingredients in here and using it to dip the bread into that. So what I usually do, I'm using this Fit and Active wheat bread from Aldi. Is 40 calories per slice. This kind is the one that's 1 point for 1 slice, 2 points for 2 slices. So make sure that if you're using any other bread, account for any change. If you're not using a true 1 for 1, 2 for 2, then make sure to build that into your tracker to make sure to see what the points are. Everything is different. So what I usually do, we don't eat a whole lot of bread. So when this is getting towards the end where, okay, I really need to use this up or throw it away, I do not like to throw bread away. So then what I usually do is just throw it in my freezer, and that way I can use it for things like this where I'm doing French toast or the pumpkin French toast or whatever. So I'm going to need 12 slices of this. So this bread it wasn't out of date yet, but it just wasn't real fresh. So it's perfect for toast or anything like that. I'm going to crack 4 eggs into the glass dish. Next, I'm going to put in 2/3 of a cup of unsweetened almond milk. Next, I'm putting in 1 teaspoon of cinnamon. And actually, I'm just going to do a 1/2 teaspoon since I'm using the pumpkin pie spice. And then 1 teaspoon of the pumpkin pie spice, and I'll do a heaping teaspoon of that. And finally, a 1/2 cup of pumpkin. All right, my battery pack died, and I don't know if you saw me putting the vanilla in. I almost forgot about this. So we also needed 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract. All right, then just whisk that all together. Okay, make sure that is mixed real well. Then I'm going to set that aside and get my griddle out. So this is going to make, obviously, I have 12 slices of bread here, so we're going to have 2 slices of bread per serving. And one thing I learned the last time is don't oversaturate your bread. I had really oversaturated the first few things of bread that I did the last time and ended up running out of the stuff. So I'm going to turn my griddle up to right about 400. And this is a Presto griddle. It's actually very old though. I've had this for I don't even know how long. We used to take this camping with us. We had, well, I can tell you how old it is. The camper we had, I believe, was an 03. It was a 5th wheel and was when our kids were small, and that's how old this is, I believe, like from when we got that. So I don't think they still have these ones, but they do have other Prestos. I absolutely love this one. So while that's heating up, I'm just getting some things ready. Over here, I have a plate that I'm just setting to the side. I'm just going to use those to put the ones that are done. I'm just going to set those aside and put that on there. Now, if I were making a whole bunch for breakfast right now, then of course I would have some aluminum foil out. And that way, when I put those on the plate, I can cover them with aluminum foil. But since we're not eating these today, I'm really not worried if they cool down some. So that is getting pretty hot. So I'm gonna take some, I can't believe it's not butter spray, and just spray it with that. You can just use cooking spray if you prefer. All right, so now what we're gonna do is just put the bread in there, and I'm not gonna let it sit in there for very long. Just because I don't wanna run out again. And you certainly don't have to use your fingers. Honestly, to me, it's just a lot easier. Okay, then just let those cook for a couple minutes, and then flip them and let them cook on the other side for a couple minutes. And that is it for breakfast this week. Ooh, you can smell that pumpkin. All right, and I want to try and spray it again when I flip them over. All right, so I'm just gonna let those cook for a couple minutes, and then I'll get the next batch going. So as you can see, as long as you don't oversaturate them, you have exactly the amount you need. All right, now I'm getting some little containers out for my syrup. 3, 6. So I'm just gonna put a 1/4 cup of syrup in each of the containers. Okay, so now all I'm going to do is take some sugar-free syrup. I just use this Maple Grove Farm sugar-free. For this kind, it's 0 points for a 1/4 cup. If you're counting calories, it's 5 calories for 2 tablespoons. So it would be 10 calories if you're doing the full 1/4 cup. So I'm just pouring it in here and not measuring it, because these usually fit about a 1/4 cup. Honestly, we don't end up using all this. We probably only use about 1/8 cup. So then what I usually do is just put it back in my fridge, and we'll use it another time. And these little containers I get from the Dollar Tree. You get 10 of them for $1. I don't know if you saw my drawer. There's round ones and these square ones. So I'll put those in the meal prep containers. And then the other thing I'm going to do is just throw a Canadian bacon. I only have, I think, 6 or 7 slices left. So I'm just going to put 1 slice in each container. So these will be 0 points. If you're counting calories on these, they are 20 calories per slice. So very minimal. Okay, I'm going to use my 2 compartment containers, but I only have 5 of them. So I'll use those, and then I'll use 1 single compartment. So I think what I'll do is just put the syrup in this side with the Canadian bacon. And then now I'm gonna just take my French toast and just cut them all right in half. So now we're gonna be putting 2 slices, 2 full slices in each meal prep container. And there we go. That is gonna be our breakfast this week. Apparently one of my 2 compartment ones is in the fridge, so I ended up using 2 single compartment ones. So that's going to be the breakfast this week. And like I said, if you are on blue and purple, these are 3 points, and then 4 points for green, and that is including the bacon and the syrup, because those are both 0 points for how much we're using. And then if you're counting calories, it's 151 calories for the French toast, and then 20 calories for the piece of Canadian bacon, and then 10 calories for the syrup. So if you're counting calories, then it's going to be 181 calories total. So that is our little meal prep this week. And I say little, but this is how you can start. You definitely don't need to do DIY dinner kits. You don't need to do all the different things with snacks. So snacks I'm gonna keep basic this week. And then my dinner kits, like I said, I'm ordering Home Chef this week. So just make things work for you. So this was just an easy meal prep. It took a long time because of having to wait for the slow cooker. But as far as the ease of it, it was super easy to throw this together. So lunches and breakfast prep this week. So let me know in the comments if this is more your style of meal prep, where you just do a couple simple things and that's it. So make sure to give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. And if you're new and you want to see more videos like this, make sure to hit the subscribe button. Thank you all so much for watching. If you're new, I hope you'll subscribe. I'll talk to you in my next video. I'm Kristi and I'm Planning Us Healthy.
Don't you know that you're beautiful? Just the